Welcome back, guys. Today's infrared sauna question is a longer one, but the title had me cracking up. It says "Seeing Infrared." It was cute. It says, "Hi Matt, I have been researching infrared saunas on my own for about a month and had initially decided on the Jacuzzi Clearlight IS2, but because there are so many cheaper ones out there, I started second guessing my decision. I was concerned with EMF levels and what I also believed were flat-out lies by companies regarding the safety of their saunas. I just came across your blog today as I continued my obsessive reading into these saunas. The other sauna I thought about purchasing was a 2-person cedar sauna by Sunray called Sierra, but I don't see much info about them online and was wondering if you have ever heard of or tested them. Their sauna is only about $1,600, and I love that they have it in cedar, but I'm afraid that with such a low price, it must be high in EMF. Their website says Sunray, unlike many manufacturers, does not use wires to conduct infrared heat, but rather we apply the perfect thickness of ultraconductive carbon to an epoxy resin panel activated by positive and negative copper strips on either side. The epoxy resin panel is then laminated, which results in ultra-low EMF levels, safe for continuous use. So basically, they manufacture a carbon panel sauna like everyone else. That was a fancy way of saying it, though. You got to give them credit. I'm not sure if this makes complete sense to me. I can understand why. Don't there have to be some wires to the copper? Yes, there's. I've ever seen a radiant heated floor. You know how they put down the copper, the piping in the floor before they pour the concrete? It's the same idea inside the panel. There is definitely conductive material in there, otherwise you wouldn't have radiant heat. And this begs the question as to how other saunas' carbon heaters work. Give me 1 second, guys. We got a package delivery. Got to open the gate for them. Let's see. And this begs the question as to how other saunas and carbon heaters work. Very similar. They all have a fancy way of saying it, but basically radiant heat is taking electricity and turning it into radiant heat. Whether or not one heater is a little bit different than the other, the mechanism that's creating that is pretty much identical or very similar. Next thing is, I also like Vital Health saunas, but it does not look like you've encountered them either. I'm also curious what you found from Rocky Mountain saunas, as they were also in the running for me. I believe they are probably reputable just based on everything I've learned thus far. Based on everything I've seen so far, though, I think I'm back to the Jacuzzi Clearlight discussion, but would love to know your thoughts on other things I mentioned, especially the Sunray saunas. I really appreciate you for doing all this work. Thanks again. Hope to hear back. So... I mean, I would go with the Clearlight if it were me. The other saunas are a little bit cheaper, but they're also cheaper in quality. Without looking at the Sunray, whether knowing it's ceramic or carbon, because I looked on Amazon and it looks like they have both. Those are just white-labeled imported saunas. You can go on Alibaba.com and see what the Chinese manufacturers are white-labeling. Those are some of them. I would imagine that they probably have low magnetic fields if it's a carbon sauna, but the electric fields won't be mitigated, so you'll have high body voltage. Those wouldn't make the cut to be on the certified saunas list unless they come out with some new model, or I would have to test it, though, in order to say for sure. But if you look at the pictures, I mean, those are exactly like a lot of the other white label imported saunas from Golden Designs and Dynamic Saunas and all these companies that buy saunas and rebrand them. I don't know about at the end of the day, I would go with the Jacuzzi Clearlight, and I would go with the Premier. The electric fields are mitigated.